how Obamacare was all about making health care more affordable and protecting the most vulnerable in our society. Surely you remember how much money and resources members' unions do, the union dues from members, that the purple people eaters known as SEIU, the Service Employees International Union, put up to fight for Obamacare. They even went so far as to allegedly beat Kenneth Gladney at a St. Louis town hall meeting. I mean, it's there on videotape, but no one was ever prosecuted. So we're going to use the word allegedly because allegedly we saw it with our own eyes. In fact, it was SEIU's then president, Andy Stern, the most frequent visitor to the White House, by far, who pushed for the tactic known as deem and pass. That gave the final passage of Obamacare. It was supposed to help the unions. Affordable Care Act. Check this story out. Quote, one of the largest union-administered health insurance funds in New York is dropping coverage for the children of more than 30,000 low-wage home attendants. This is from SEIU. Union officials are reporting this. The union blamed the financial problems and said it was caused by the state's health department and new national health insurance requirements. That is weird, isn't it? SEIU, the guys who designed this new system, they didn't see collapse in 6 months? Didn't see that one coming. So now they're forcing a single-payer system. Because I remember playing the tape. That's what they said they really wanted. Single payer. That's what's happening here. SEIU is collapsing the system. And they are forcing their own people into the government health care. How much more evidence do you need that this administration is paying off their union buddies? In a statement, SEIU spokesperson said, quote, we hope the state of New York will do the right thing and provide the funding necessary for the most vulnerable population of direct caregivers. You got to be kidding me. You can't make this stuff up. But on the bright side of the union ledger, I know you've all been worried about how the UAW is doing after driving GM to the brink of disaster. Well, you'll be pleased to hear that the United Auto Workers just made a nice, tidy sum of money with the sale of the GM shares that they received in the government bailout. $3.4 billion through the sale of 1/3 of its shares in GM last week. Analysts estimate that they will break even if they can sell the remaining 2/3 of their shares at an average price of $36 a share. If they can sell them at $36 a share, the unions will break even. Where did it close today? $33.80 a share. After selling 1/3 of its shares last week, the U.S. Treasury, where your investment is, agreed that they're not going to sell any more of the GM stock. Now they're going to hold off. This is the unions. This is you. You can no longer sell your stock for 6 months. But the union, they can. They're free to keep selling all their shares. Taxpayers, if you want to break even, GM stock would have to rise to at least $52 a share. Some say it's more like $103 a share before you break even. That'll take years to achieve, and all kinds of new super space cars. Oh, I'm sure they're on the assembly line now. But you'll sleep better tonight, resting in the knowledge that the UAW is being taken care of, right? Right? You want some more good news? Remember I told you last week about the TSA groping controversy? And I said, this has nothing to do with anything other than unionizing the TSA. Yeah, we did the math over the weekend. I had people working over the weekend. Sorry. It seems that if they do unionize the TSA, guess how much the unions will make in dues? New $30 million every single year, just in dues. I'm sure that has nothing to do with their desire to represent TSA. They just want to come in and make sure, like SEIU did, that the workers don't have health care coverage for their kids. No, wait, that's not working out. I don't know how it works for the unions. Maybe that's why I'm not in one. You have your phone handy? Because I want you to call Washington right now. Congress is working hard to make sure that the food that you eat is completely safe. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Glenn, I think my food is already safe. But that's just how stupid you are. They know better in Washington. Apparently, our food is very unsafe. That's why tonight, the Senate is scheduled to start voting on S510, the FDA Food Safety Modernization Act. It is fantastic. It's going to be so modern, what they're doing. May I ask you, who on the planet has a safer food supply than we do while feeding 300 million people? Is it China? Is it India? Is it Great Britain? Ooh, Sweden. Oh, no. Is there a big problem that I don't know of? I mean, I know that, we can always make things better here. There was a problem with spinach a couple of years ago, and then guacamole or avocados or something. I think that was quickly resolved, minimal to no interruption of our normal food supply. I know we got bad dog food tainted with lead poison, I think, from the Chinese, but maybe we should have theirs. Maybe we should look into their food modernization. We can always improve, but there'll never be a perfect system with zero problems, will there? I want you to know this is a massive, massive expansion of federal regulation, increasing the power of the FDA, started by progressive Theodore Roosevelt, and a higher, more fun price at the food store. Oh, and it's going to mean higher taxes for you as well. Congressional Budget Office estimates between $1.4 billion and up between 2011 and 2015. Cost to the private sector, you at the grocery store. Now, they haven't calculated that yet, but it is expected to be hundreds of millions of dollars every year. If you think your food prices have already gone up, just wait. According to the Heritage Foundation, the act would, quote, authorize the FDA to dictate how farmers grow fruits, vegetables, including rules on governing soil, water, hygiene, packaging, temperatures, even what animals may roam in the fields and when they can roam. It would also increase inspections of food facilities and tax them to do so. And fulfilling the dream of a long line of agency officials, the bill grants the FDA to unilateral authority to order recalls. Oh, that's great. Is there more paperwork for the farmers too? Oh, and by the way, guess what agriculture company will benefit if this thing passes? The Monsanto company. Of course. They're in favor of this bill. They really like this bill. Do you know where the FDA's deputy commissioner for foods used to work? It's a wild coincidence. The Monsanto company. And guess who the second largest holder was, last quarter of the shares of the Monsanto Corporation? George Soros. It's a small world. Small world, isn't it? Even as the Obama administration and their apologists continue to laugh and mock at claims of government intrusion into our lives, despite the takeover of GM and Chrysler, government control of all student loans, control up to 95% of all new home mortgages this year, the health care reform takeover that the unions are getting rich on, and the sweeping financial reform changes to control Wall Street, now they want to protect you from your food. Really? All of a sudden, we need this legislation, and it can't wait until Christmas. No. Why? Monsanto, George Soros, political favors, control and power. They control your food. They control you. You call your senator tonight. You call the Capitol switchboard. 202-224-3121. Call them. And by the way, Obama, sorry about the lip. If I got any of it wrong, call me, will ya? You ask to be connected to your senator. Remind him or her what happened on November 2nd. And tell him or her you'd love to see them avoid a repeat of that in 2012. Call them. This is about control and, in the end, starvation. introduce you to Amanda Zich. She is the woman who found my father's coat that was made by my mother for the bicentennial. She found it in a Goodwill store outside of Seattle a couple of weeks ago. Well, we brought her to New York, and after appearing on the show, she wrote me a letter, and I want to read part of it to you. She says, "Your audience has responded to the story and the sign you made with my shop's URL. I have sold over 550 items, and I am still selling. I believe now that after I ship everything, I'll be able to pay off my attorney and have a few months of mortgage payments ready to go for troubled times. I have friends in Seattle to help me pack and ship when I arrive home early next week. I am grateful beyond words. My Glenn Beck, New York experience I will never forget. Your kind words will be remembered and shared with Ella, her daughter, as she grows. I've set up a college fund for her. People now want to send me vintage clothes to sell instead of donating them. I'm overwhelmed and uplifted." Here is a mom who didn't want to lose her house and didn't want to take a handout, so she started her own business. One miracle at a time, America. Expect the next miracle to happen in Ohio. Just like 828 and Amanda Zich, it has nothing to do with politics. It has everything to do with people and who we choose to be. Come with me on December 15th to Wilmington, Ohio, for a Christmas miracle, America's first Christmas. Go to glennbeck.com for all the details and get ready to witness miracles. America, I'm very excited about the future of what we have to share with you. Next year, we're working on a project that I think will blow your mind. A little closer in the future, on Thursday, we're going to be out at movie theaters with a live performance with an audience in Pittsburgh, and then in movie theaters all across the country, of Broke, how we fix this country, kind of a town hall meeting with just the two of us. That's on Thursday. On Wednesday's show, we're going to do a special on the Roman Empire, and if I have time and we can complete our investigation on a couple of things, I'm not only going to show you things that happened in the Roman Empire that are happening right now, but also some plans that were laid in the 1960s by Russia that will boggle your mind. That is Wednesday from New York. Good night, America.